Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It is Thursday night. That means it is the USRA Cup Series being brought to you here live. And as always, it is Muth in the booth. And right alongside me, I have a little special guest here. It is Taylor the Butcher Benjamin. He will give you the insight on all your driver's needs, as he is a driver behind the wheel himself in Sonoma. Taylor, I'm not sure if it's one of your favorite tracks, but you have a lot of laps logged here.
Yeah, this is a very difficult racetrack for anybody, even the best in the world, and very technical, and got to carry a lot of speed off these corners and then make sure you don't wheel hop getting into the corner. But right now, based on what I'm seeing, it's going to be really hard for anybody else to knock Justin Wilson off. He's definitely the favorite tonight, but of course anything can happen in this league as we got 4 races to go. And a very tight points battle between Jeff Pogo and Luke LaFaro. Only 5 points separate them.
Yeah, and as you talk about the points battle, let's go ahead as practice is about to expire here, though. Justin Wilson, Aaron Davidson, and Chase Berry both have, or all 3 of them are your top 3 here in the practice session. But let's take you to your point standings here for the USRA Cup Series. It is Jeff Pogo leading the way, 5 points over the California Kid. It is Luke LaFaro in second. It is a home race here tonight for Luke LaFaro. Eric Holly here. Last time we were in California, he went California Dreaming and won from Auto Club. He is third in points, 75 points back, so it just shows you how close your top 2 are compared to the rest of the field here. As you see, Holly 75 points out. Jamie Leach is sitting 82 points out. Dan Dill, last week's winner, went a last lap side-by-side pass. He is sitting in the 5th spot, 89 points out. Steve Holmes is only 2 points, or 1 point back from him. Then he'll be in 6th in your point standings. Aaron Davidson, who has a hot shoe coming into tonight, he is 7th in points. Jared Hagedorn is 8th. Ira Kohlhaas, John Mullins rounds out your top 10 in points. Then it is Chris Brown, Michael Bromley, 12th, and he will take his provisional here, along with Dennis Carman, also going to take his provisional. A bunch of these drivers you will not see here tonight as well. They are all on that provisional train. Jim Ott is in 15th, Jason Harrison 16th, Chase Berry is 17th, Cody Levitt 18th, Michael Sturgill, and Ryan Jones rounds out your top 20. That main focus, though, here on your point standings, as qualifying has begun, only a couple drivers already out there, though, but your main focus on the point standings is the 3rd position all the way back to about the 7th position. All those drivers right there are still within striking distance to pull 3rd out of the points championship, but to gather up to climb up to Luke LaFaro or Jeff Pogo, it's going to take a lot here for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot from them, and it's going to take a big-time collapse from both Pogo and LaFaro for them to have any chance at the title. But yeah, it's still pretty tight between guys 3rd through about 7th, and I'm going to be looking at Aaron Davidson tonight. He was only about 3/10 off of Justin Wilson's fastest time and setting some pretty consistent laps. So this is a big opportunity for him to maybe overtake those guys ahead of him, try to move up into 3rd in the standings. As we see Jordan Smith go off course. 10-minute qualifying here.
Yeah, so Jordan Smith will reset his car and then try and fire back off. He did not start his actual timed lap. The first driver who has started a timed lap will be the Red Bull machine, the 03 of Aaron Davidson. Aaron Davidson this week probably logged more laps here at the Sonoma Raceway than I have logged my entire time on iRacing over a 4-year span. It has been absolutely crazy, the amount of time that he has spent here in the sim. He said his number 1 goal coming into tonight is try to knock off the driver of that 58 of Justin Wilson. And right now, Justin Wilson is going to head to the clock now as he comes up through actually the uphill portion here at Sonoma. I believe that's turn number 5 he now has gone through.
Had a bit of a scare a minute ago, though. I saw his quality drop down to about 70, but looks okay. But yeah, that's a right there. Getting into turn 5 is, other than turn 11, probably the biggest passing zone on this racetrack.
Yeah, this is I want to say this is the new version of Sonoma that they are racing, but really, if anybody was, from the 80s and the 90s, they remember this is actually one of the original versions here at the Sonoma Raceway for the Cup Series, and, well, it's back now in NASCAR, and a lot of fans are really enjoying it, as these guys are going to head to it for the first time here ever for the USRA. They've never been to Sonoma, but they have been to Watkins Glen a handful of times. And, well, when we were at Watkins Glen earlier in the season, it came down to 2 of the drivers that are here tonight. It came down to Justin Wilson, who you see on screen, and Aaron Davidson. And the other driver was Aaron Daffler, who is not here in attendance tonight. But, well, still got 2 of the 3 from the last road course here, and they were in the top 3 in practice. And Aaron Davidson comes across the line for his first time lap of 2, and he will go with a 1 minute 35.286. Here comes Wilson now across the line. Will he be able to do any better? And he does. He actually goes 2 seconds just about faster, as he goes with a 1 minute 33.9.
Chase Berry actually second with a 1:35.102.
Now 5 drivers do have their qualifying time in here. It is Wilson, then it is the 10 car here of Chase Berry, Aaron Davidson third, Dan Dill, who put down 1 lap and then spun coming across the line, so he'll take the tow. It'll be 1 and done for the 81 of Dill. He goes 4th on the board as you see him down on pit lane. And then it's Ira Kohlhaas in the 33 RJS Automotive machine. He is sitting 6th right now, as Jamie Leach now comes across the board here in the Great Lakes Brewing number 2, as he's going to go off track, so his second lap will not count.
Jeff Pogo on track, our points leader, got through the first couple corners pretty decent. Very easily to overdrive, especially the uphill portions of this racetrack. Here he comes. Gotta take a wide entry through this section. Can't remember exactly what turns this is, considering how many of them there are on this racetrack. But
I think that might have been 7, but I could be wrong, because they do have like
one a little bit.
Yeah, I think they have like what, turn 3A and turn 3B, so it could be a little mistaken on that.
So it turn here and turn there, I guess.
Right here and a left there, and he finds himself still on track, so that is really good for the driver of the 24, Jeff Pogo here. It is a brand new paint scheme this week for the driver of the 24 out of Missouri. He's going to be trying to put this in a solid top 5 starting spot. This is lap number 1 for Pogo as he comes into the final hairpin turn here at Sonoma. A really tight turn there. It looks pretty good coming out of the final corner for the 24 Jeff Pogo.
Definitely a big speed drop from about 100 all the way down to, you saw, about 40 miles an hour. And this time, too bad, 136.9 puts him 5th on the board. Waiting for Luke Lafaro. Actually, Luke Lafaro is actually 7th on the board with a 139.5.
Yeah, it looks like a 1 and done also for Luke Lafaro as he spun in turn number 1, so it's only going to be 1 lap for the driver of the 20 out of California. Another driver who we don't see too much any more often, I guess, get the words correctly, is going to be the 25 here of Jordan Smith. He's really, really fast on the 1.5 mile tracks, and well, now he's going to see if he can make some right-hand turns here at this 2.47-mile road course in California. He's not a road course ringer. He doesn't really care for him, but he's out here to try his luck here tonight. He says anything can happen. Turn 1, you never know.
I mean, we've seen over the course of this season the very best in the world have trouble, even on the very first lap. If you recall the peak race, it was Zach Novak and Ray Alfala got into it, and in the corkscrew section of the track, and that ended Alfala and Matt Busa, ended those 2 guys' race before they even completed a lap. So
it just shows you that even the very best can have some issues out here. Where will Jordan Smith go? It'll be a 1:35.6, but it looks like, actually it is counted as a lap for him. He'll go to the 4th quickest time of the night.
He definitely made up for his mistake the last time on lap 1, but yeah.
As we watch the 38 of Cody Levitt go up and over in turn 1 after his qualifying attempt, it was only the 7th fastest here for Cody Levitt. He circled this one early on the schedule that he wanted to really come here to Sonoma and put down a time. And, well, he puts down the 7th fastest time. Cody, one of those road course ringers. But Jeff Pogo finishes up his 2nd lap, one of the only drivers to be able to put down a 2nd lap. And he actually is going to improve his time. He'll go to the 4th quickest now on the board.
Yep, about 2.5 tenths is where he improved there. 3 drivers still have not taken the time yet. Jason Young, Jarrett Hagedorn, and Greg Lerman. Those 3 drivers have not put down a Q time as of yet.
Eric Holly has, though, in the number 8 out of Ohio is Eric Holly. He goes 8th quickest on the board to match the car number that he has on there tonight. And, well, I think that'll probably be right around his lap time. As he said, he's probably a mid-pack car here in qualifying. Going to look here on the long run, though, to see if he can improve his spot. But as there's only a minute left here in qualifying, it doesn't look like the drivers Jason Young, Jared Hagedorn, or Craig Learman will be able to get a lap time in. So we're going to step away real quick here, and we'll be back here to bring you the grid for your Lucas Smith 250 tonight, presented by Jeff Pogo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back here to the Sonoma Raceway here on Thursday night. It is the USRA Cup Series. It is the Lucas Smith 250 tonight, presented by Jeff Pogo. 15 drivers are going to take to the grid here tonight, and let's walk you through your starting lineup here tonight. Starting on the front row will be the driver of the 58, Justin Wilson. Right alongside him, it will be his good old buddy, two team cars starting on row number 1. It'll be the number 10 of Chase Berry. Right behind them, it's the man who turns more laps than I have ever turned. It'll be the 03 of Aaron Davidson. Little Jeff Pogo out of Missouri, going to start there in your 4th spot. 5th spot here tonight, going to go to the 25 of Jordan Smith, and another one of those road course ringers who always runs the Daytona 24-hour events. It is going to be the number 9 of Stephen Holmes. Starting right behind them in the 4th row, it'll be the driver out of Las Vegas. It'll be Cody Levitt, and Eric Holly right next to him. Starting in row number 5, position number 9 here tonight, it'll be the driver out of Ohio. It'll be the number 2 of Jamie Leach, who says he is not looking forward to tonight's event. And right alongside Jamie Leach to start in the number 10th position, it'll be the California kid right down the road here from the Sonoma Raceway. It'll be the number 20 of Luke LaFaro. Row number 6, it'll be Dan Dill, last week's winner, and then it's Big Country Kohlhaas, Ira Kohlhaas, the number 33 RJS automotive car. Row 7 will be the 43 of Craig Learman, and then it'll be the number 22 of Jared Hagedorn. Starting on the final row here tonight, it'll be the driver of the 29, the Infinite Hero Machine. It'll be Jason Young, and that's how we will line up here tonight. 8 rows, 15 drivers to take the green flag for a chance to win here in the Lucas Smith 250. Looks like it'll be one pace lap for these drivers to get some heat in the tires, heat in the motors before we turn them loose. It'll be 50 laps the distance here tonight. It actually really only breaks down to 124 miles. Had to cut back on the laps a little bit here, Taylor. You know how hard it would have been to put up 75 laps here for a lot of these drivers.
Oh, absolutely. But with that change in the amount of laps that they're going to do, it really can Be interesting to see what these guys do for pit strategy. Talking to a couple of these guys before we came on the air, some were talking about just one and trying to split it in half, and some were talking a two-stop strategy and split it into thirds.
Yeah, you're going to see different strategies all night long. The question will be who will gamble and do the two pit stop strategy here tonight. And also, I did hear a couple other of the drivers might possibly try for 3 pit stops because they think fresh tires here at Sonoma are really going to chew into those leaders who elect to stay out there and try and run a little bit longer on their set of tires, because you never know. Sometimes fresher Goodyears here will make the difference, but we're going to find out here in just a little bit as they come down through the S's for the first time here behind the iRacing Porsche pace car. Will be the only time you see that machine out here on the racing surface tonight, so take a good look at it, race fans. It'll be the last time we see it.
And for good reason, because race control was very adamant that they would not be throwing any full course cautions, even if the whole field wrecks in turn 1. That's going to be green all the way. So here they come off turn 10.
Well, look, it looks like you found what turn it is.
Yep. And the pace car is up off the racetrack on the pit road, and here we go, Roger.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 by 2 as everybody comes out of the final corner. Everybody's pulling the belts tight for the final time. They're going to start to crunch the cars up here, and not in a bad way, but in a good way to line them up here for the race. And the green flag is officially flying here tonight for the first time in your Lucas Smith 250 tonight, presented by Jeff Pogo, and a great start by your pole sitter here. The 58 of Justin Wilson gets a really good start, and it looks like second place as they come up through the first part of the S's will be the number 10 here of Chase Berry.
Kind of an interesting start because Barry was technically ahead of Wilson before the green came out, but looks like everything's squared away okay.
Up over turn number 5 they come, and it has already become single file for a lot of these drivers, as you see the 29 of Young hanging it out there. Everybody is up and away and through those S's. Now down to the new portion here of Sonoma, quote-unquote new portion. It is the old portion, as Wilson has now opened up already about a second lead over Chase Berry, and we're only halfway through lap number 1. So it is Wilson, Berry, Davidson, your top 3 so far, as we head down here into turn number, is that 8?
I can't believe it is 8, as just how good Wilson gets off the corner. Pulls back away from his teammate. It's going to be, guys are really on edge already, but especially with this new tire model that they came out with for the A car in the last build, makes it even more sketchy in the early laps. So here they come into turn 11 for the first time. Like we mentioned before, the most opportune passing zone, as Cody Levitt has already crashed. The whole front end of that car is completely gone.
Yeah, as we look back here at the 7.5 Brewing, number 38 is an unfortunate beginning here of the night here for the 38 Levitt out of Las Vegas. He was looking forward to coming into this race. He's, we said early on, he circled this one on the calendar. The question is, what actually happened to the driver of that 38 of Cody Levitt? We're going to see if we can queue up a replay here in just a second for you and see if we can find out where he actually ended up losing the hood on this machine. Let's throw it back and find out where Cody Levitt actually had his little bit of a mishap. It looks like it's coming down through the S's possibly, where the driver of the 38 here, this is the replay here, watching the 38 of Levitt. A little bit of a curve there, and the left-hander comes back through the right-hander, back to the gas, and looks like the car just makes a right-hand turn, and he locks it up. It was just way too late for the driver of the 38. And, well, that might be an early night here for that driver.
And also, Craig Learman also has not even taken the green flag tonight, so we're already down to just 13 drivers before we complete lap number 2.
Yeah, lap number 1 did go to, though, Justin Wilson leading the first lap here of the 50 scheduled.
Yeah, it just looked like Levitt, the danger of those curves, you got to attack them if you're going to make fast laps here, but once you get off of them, you got to make sure your wheel is straight. And it looked like it was going straight for a second, but the rear tires just busted loose on him, and around he went into the tire barrier. Although he's still out there, he's actually catching Jared Hagedorn in the 22.
Yeah, and it looks like
I
he'll
don't let
go
him go
around
by.
him there, right on the outside of the corner. It's a little bit of a risky move there by the driver of the 38, but he still says, well, I don't need no stinking front bumper, no hood on this car. Still going to wheel it as best as we can, so he does pick up the 13th position, a little wheel hop down there into the final corner, but he'll take over that 13th spot, and just in front of him by about, looking at a 4-second gap to Jason Young, he could still catch and run down the driver of the 29. We're keeping an eye on that interval between those two drivers for the 12th and the 13th spot. Right now, though, everybody else has single filed out, and your closest two drivers on track, it will be the number 2 here of Jamie Leach, and then the number 20 of Luke Lafaro, as he is also right on the back bumper there of Eric Holly, as Holly had a little bit of a bobble that time up through turn number 4.
Yeah, LaFar started in 10th and has already gained a couple of positions. And should be noted back here that Jason Young saw some damage on his right front corner, and I found where it came from. Down through the corkscrew section, he got off track and slammed into the tire barriers. And although he's still out there, not nearly as much damage as compared to Cody Levitt's car.
Yeah, and Cody is starting to pull him back in. Now it's sitting, as Young locks up the tires coming into the corner. He'll slide through. He'll give a little more time back to the 38 of Cody Levitt. Levitt is out there still running about, actually, last time by, it was 6 seconds faster than the 29 of Jason Young, as Young is going to loop it down here coming into the S's. He'll go around 360 spin, catches it as Levitt now is going to look to the outside, and he will take the position. Levitt now goes around the 29 of Young as he went for the spin cycle.
Another situation getting up on the curbs a little too much with the left front there. As up front, battle for second place is heating up between Aaron Davidson and Chase Berry, as Davidson only about a half second, well, I guess call it a couple of car lengths now, off the number 10's back bumper.
Yeah, Chase Berry, the driver of the number 10 car, more known possibly for his super speedway racing, not so much his road course ability, but right now he is showing some pretty quick speed, about a half second slower though than Justin Wilson last time by, and it looks like the 29 of Young has been involved in a wreck, and he has to take the tow, I believe, back to pit road here. What exactly happened? We'll cue that one up here in just a second. Let's see if we can find it back here.
I was actually just past the start-finish line, entering turn 1. That was pretty bizarre looking.
Let's see as we have it queued up. It looks like, he just got out of the throttle possibly, and the driver of the 29 just absolutely loops her around, and then he had to take the tow back to pit road. That's not where he wanted to be here this early on, but he is there, and he will go one lap down as here comes the driver of the 58, Justin Wilson, coming through the final corner. He will look to the right-hand side, and he will make that corner, and now officially Jason Young is listed as one lap down here tonight.
I like what Justin Wilson's doing, because we know he can set 133s, but right now if you ask me, he's just kind of pacing himself right now, trying to take care of his tires.
Yeah, possibly.
It doesn't matter if you win this
driver.
race by. It doesn't matter if you win this race by a foot or a mile
or a lap.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what Wilson's going for right now.
Yeah, so Wilson possibly playing a little bit of the cat and mouse game. Ooh, as he gets a little bit loose there on the curb, as now here comes Davidson. He looked for a moment like he was going to go to the inside of Chase Berry, but that's not exactly where you can put the power down. A lot of these guys were struggling coming out of turn number 5 there. And the same thing with Davidson that time. He had the chance to go to the inside of the 10 of Berry, but elected not to because, well, if you wad him up there, it could be a long way back to pit road, or you could find yourself up the embankment on the hill. Here into this braking zone could be a passing point, but the 03 is a little too far back.
I think he's looking to be just close enough to come out of turn 10 right on his bumper and then try to outbrake him going into turn 11 as they go through the S's. I think he's close enough this time.
He could be close enough as he comes through the corner. This was his weak spot in a lot of the practice sessions over the week that they had, as it looks like he was pretty clean through there. A little bit of a wiggle there out of the rear end, not too bad, as he'll close the gap. It'll be about a half car length gap, as though the 10 of Berry slides, and then look at the big wiggle out of Aaron Davidson off that corner. He's going to lose a lot of ground now. So it's still Wilson, Berry, Davidson Jeff Pogo is sitting back here, and he's got Jordan Smith all over his rear end, so it's the 24 in 4th and the 25 of Smith there in 5th. They are your closest two drivers on track now that Davidson had a wiggle and Barry has scooted away for a little bit.
Back to about 8th position with I'm looking at Luke LaFaro being pressured by Jamie Leach. The number 2, of course. Luke right now still. It's kind of weird to say that the highest mover of the race is gaining only 2 positions, but with as small a field as we got and as hard as to pass. And I bring that up because that is a bonus point if the driver who gains the most positions as compared to where he started the race, and that could pay off for Luke.
Yeah, I think there's one stipulation to that. I'm not sure because we are here at a road course, but I think you have to qualify within a second or 2 of your leader normally. I'm not sure if that applies though here at a road course. That's a good point to bring up.
Yeah, good to get some clarification there.
As Holly's going to blow that corner a little bit, and then he slides it when he tries to come back down.
Oh, got Jordan Smith. He spun over here. Got it back going again. Just entering the S's.
Yeah, looking at the 25, it doesn't look like there's any damage to that car. Just going for the solo spin cycle.
And just hopped the curb just a little too much, and around it went. Did a good job not hitting either of the walls.
I am getting reports here, Taylor, that your buddy of John Mullins not able to make the race here.
So they just missed the start.
And Stevie, we know road courses aren't your forte, but unfortunately we are missing you out here, buddy. Right now it is still Wilson, Barry, and Davidson.
Yeah, LaFaro back here is gaining on Eric Holly for that 7th position. But yeah, it's still close between 2nd and 3rd between Davidson and Barry.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like the Red Bull driver is able to put the power down to get around the number 10. He can stay there. He can hang with Chase Berry. Just can't get around him. Maybe even Davidson is just sitting back there lurking. He's still able to see Justin Wilson, who is about 3.5 seconds up. As Davidson going to go for a little bit of a slide through the gravel here. He'll come back onto the track. We'll have to see if he gets a slow penalty. And I actually think he did there for a second, maybe just a little bit of a blip of the throttle, and back into it he went. But now he's going to have to run down the number 10 of Chase Berry. Looking at about, what is that, 2 seconds? Now a second and a half, actually, between those two for the 2nd and 3rd spot.
That was nearly disastrous right there. And luckily for him, turn 11 is so slow that he can really take the slowdown penalty right through there if he indeed got one. But now Justin Wilson up front, if he was playing the cat and mouse game earlier, he's not doing that anymore. He's beginning to set sail like we expected him to.
Yeah, and looking off the back deck lid of the 58 of Wilson, you can't, from that camera angle, you could see the 10 of Chase Berry, but he is just a little bit of a dot back there, sitting 4 seconds back off the back bumper here of Wilson in the 2nd spot as Chase Berry. Luke LaFaro is still the closest car to anybody, and that would be the 8 of Eric Holly out in front of him, with Jamie Leach still lurking in the background. These 3 drivers, every lap, are just kind of sitting at the same distance. They haven't gained really much. They haven't lost really anything to each other. As there is your timing and scoring on the left-hand side, all 15 drivers. It says that Wilson is back out there on track, as he has a crinkled-up Infinite Hero, number 29. He has shown 2 laps down, and I think there's a little bit of an ill-handling issue on this 29 now.
He's actually pulling off here. I think he's letting he let the 22 go by, and I believe that's the leader right behind him.
Yeah, that is the 58 of Wilson there. So right now, Hagedorn in a little bit of trouble as the leader is starting to work up on him, as Jason Young is in front of your leaders, and there's not really much you can do as your Justin Wilson. You kind of just had to sit there and wait for the opportunity to pass the 29. You didn't want to be over anxious to get around him. Now, as you saw him work around him, now he'll set sail. He lost a little bit of time, but nothing really to write home about back to Chase Berry. And something happened to Aaron Davidson again. He is off track.
And another bit wiggle there. But yeah, you're right. There's no reason for. I'm sure Justin Wilson would have liked to have just completely moved out of his way, but with a 4.5-second lead, there's no reason to not take your time and do what he did. That's a good move. Yeah, but Davidson lost enough ground that Jeff Pogo has gotten by him for the third spot. Although Davidson is right back on his bumper. And is going to try to make that pass, although he doesn't have the preferred line going into this corner.
Going to try the long way around Pogo. Pogo will go back to the inside. Can Davidson cross him over here? Pogo's going to slam the door. He will not be able to. So as they come through the S's now, Davidson is going to be stuck behind the 24 here. He's just going to have to ride for a little bit. Doesn't want to push it through the S's too hard. We remember 2 laps ago here for the driver of the 03 what happened when he was trying to really push the 10 of Chase Berry. Now he has an opportunity right here. Could he get to the inside and pass the 24 down here in the braking zone?
Yep, he's got him, and Pogo just lets him go. It'd be interesting in another 5 or 6 laps for. That would be the opportunity for guys that are on the 2-stop strategy to. That's when their window would open.
Yeah, I'm just peeking through the last time by for a lot of these drivers. Last time by for let's just use your leader because he is out front, the 58 of Justin Wilson, who has led every lap so far here tonight. His best time was a 1 minute 34.97. His last time by was a 1 minute 38.2. So it is a just shy of being a 4-second slowdown for the 58 of Wilson, who is your leader still out there. So a 4-second gap. If you come down and get 4 fresh tires, you could chew into that gap if your leader stays out.
Just really impressive what Justin Wilson has done, not just tonight, of course, but the course of the season. And even though he's only ran half the races, he's still, if you go by stats, he's still is leading the league in laps led and 2 wins out of 6 starts. Imagine where he'd be in points if he had run every single race.
Yeah, he only ran, like you said, half those races and 2 wins, still has 4 top 5s, still has 4 top 10s, and 4 bonus points to go along with it. A lot of those bonus points coming as 0 incident points, which will net you an extra bonus point, or even leading the most laps here on a Thursday night. That's where a lot of those bonus points are coming from. And right
as well
now,
as starting on the pole here.
Exactly, and well, so the bonus points for Wilson just continue.
Yeah, see him starting to attack a little more. Oh, he's big. That was a close call there.
Maybe right now, maybe he's been saving his tires, and he says right now is the time to push the envelope a little bit. Maybe he knows the next 6 laps is what he's going to do, and maybe he'll come down at the beginning here of the pit cycle. Right now, we only have 1 driver out of the event, or, well, did not start, and that'd be the 43 of Craig Learman. And then I was going to say Cody Levitt, who is actually in the damaged 38 machine. He is still out there, and he has now worked his way back up to the 11th position. Dan Dill is right behind him and running his Snowflake machine here tonight. It is the last race for the USRA here before Christmas time, and Dan Dill, right now, last week's winner, will run currently in the 12th position. Jason Young is, though, back out on track, shown 3 laps down in his Infinite Heroes machine after having to take the long tow. About 5.5 minutes, actually, worth of tow time here at Sonoma. A little bit
I like
of a
your point
pass.
about Justin Wilson. With since he has a 4-second lead, he can afford to see how hard he could push the envelope through some of these more technical portions. But if you feel he can't handle it, he can afford to just run the way he's been doing because of how big of a lead he has.
And a little bit of a pass back here for that 5th position. Jordan Smith going to get around the number 9 of Steve Holmes, so to put Smith into the 5 spot. Holmes back to 6th. Holmes is going to play the long run game here and try and save the tires on his Grizzly Berry machine. Holmes, one of those guys, he will take care of that car all night long. If you remember, race fans, all the way back to Darlington, Steve Holmes was not only the only driver with 0 incident points from the Darlington Raceway, he was also one of the drivers who were in contention for the win. Unfortunately, a little bit of a fuel strategy not going his way, but still, nonetheless, having one heck of a run at Darlington.
It wound up fourth that day as 29 gets out of his way.
Smith with a little bit of a wiggle up over the hill there before he makes the right-hander down onto the quote-unquote newer portion here at Sonoma.
He's had a couple close calls this season. Last week at Michigan, came in on fourth, and the Kansas led 37 laps, and even after starting way back in 20th, then lost by just 0.04 of a second to Dan Dill at the checkered flag to finish second that day. Yeah, he's certainly capable of breaking in the victory lane, and of course he's right in the thick of that battle for third place in points.
Yeah, and as you see that beautiful Grizzly machine that he has out there, some chrome numbers, a little bit of chrome berry blue, if you will, also. Steve Holmes, I did see earlier today over in the iRacing Painters page on Facebook, Holmes did end up posting his original iRacing car that he's ever made, his first one ever. And let's just say he has come a long way from the first paint he did to the one that he has out there now because, well, one, iRacing obviously doing the, some amazing updates that they have, which are allowing those chrome numbers on the number 9 of Holmes along with the chrome effect blue. So times are different now, so you can say that his painting skills are through the roof now. He also has a lot of the cover pages over there on the iRacing Painters page.
Oh, he's a heck of a lot better than me, I'll give you that. But getting back a little bit, I just noticed Jeff Pogo a couple of laps ago, really off of turn 10, had a big slide into the tire barrier and hit with the right front.
Yeah, let's see if we can zoom in just a little bit. There it is, real close up here of that gear wrench 24. And there is definitely some right nose damage, right fender damage on that machine. I don't think it'll affect him too much here at the road course, but it's something that we're keeping an eye on. Maybe some tire wear on that right side might come into an effect a little bit later on.
As far as aero is concerned, I mean, we see this 38 car of Levitt still out there with no front end whatsoever, so...
What do you need a front end for?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But as
think
far as conserving the tires a little bit, that might be a different story.
Yeah, I think there is one straight quarter panel, and that might be the right rear quarter panel of this 38, and maybe before the end of the night he might want to fix that. He doesn't want his team to be too spoiled in the off weeks here to fix anything.
They're like, yeah, Merry Christmas, guys, here you go.
And hey, they're not too far from Las Vegas, so it's not going to be a far drive home after this one for them. Just about a rough 5.5 hours back to Las Vegas, and let me tell you, that is one long drive.
Yeah,
you see the mountain range in Las Vegas, and you're like, oh, we're almost there. 4 hours later, you're still staring at that same mountain range going, it's got to be here soon.
Right. Yeah, they might have to hit the casinos in order to pay for the damage of that car, though.
Yeah, Cody not a gambler unless it's here on the iRacing platform, and right now the man who's still out front and gambling a little bit, if you will, it'll still be Justin Wilson, and nobody here on lap number 14 has elected to come down pit road just yet. Wilson has a 6.3 second lead over Chase Berry. And then it looks like a huge lead back to Aaron Davidson. Davidson has now obviously retaken the third position, but he is sitting back behind Justin Wilson by 15, a little over 15 seconds, and it's about 9 seconds till you could find Chase Berry out ahead of him. So Davidson has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to try and catch those front two runners.
At this point, everybody's kind of in their racing the track at this point. There's not really anybody within close proximity of one another. Damian Leach was able to get around Luke Lafaro for that 8th position, and now he actually is kind of gaining on Eric Hawley for 7th.
Well, the driver of the two did take some notes from Eric Hawley a little bit before we went live here, and maybe those are playing out. Maybe he's just shadowing the 8 and what he's doing at this point, but Dan Dill is going to go a lap down here to your leader, so now there will be 11 drivers on your lead lap, and the next car for Justin Wilson is about 15 seconds out in front of him, and that'd be the number 38 Levitt. So he has a little bit of ground as Dill's going to lock up that front right tire. Huge lockup for him in that Ford Mustang.
Be curious to see what Dill does here. Now that he has gone a lap down, he has another big wiggle. Now that he has gone a lap down, maybe it would be best to come down and pit.
Yeah, if Dan pits, that would really show us here early on what the tire difference is for a lot of these guys here. What the fall off would be versus the new tires. We can still check. And last time by for Wilson, it was actually only a 2-second difference in his tire or in his lap times from his best lap to his last lap. So I mean that just shows you that he was saving a little bit of tire there in the early stages, because now it's up to a 7-second lead over Chase Berry.
This makes it look as smooth as you please as he comes around through turn 11. His fastest lap was on lap 2, just under 35. This one's a minute 37.249. So, well, not that far off, but you definitely tell that even our race leader and early race dominator, you can tell the tire wear is beginning to show up.
Closest battle on track is still between the 2 and the number 8. It's the battle of the Ohio drivers, who are only separated by 10 miles in distance. Didn't know each other before iRacing, and well, now here they are out here battling week in and week out. One with a Chevy, one with a Ford. One's a little bit of a traitor. We won't tell you which one. It's probably the one that's driving a Mustang, though. But, I mean, as Jamie Leach going to go to the inside here in the final turn, he will get around the driver of the 8th, so put Leach into the 7th spot, and now Holly all the way back to, well, all the way back is, well, that's where he started here tonight, the 8th spot.
This is all going on about 53 seconds behind our race leader, Justin Wilson. They're just now going up the uphill portion in turns 2 and 3, and Wilson is already in the S's.
I'd say we'd pull up the blimp camera and show that, but unfortunately this is our blimp camera here, and it doesn't show you that much other than what you see here is Jamie Leach and Eric Holly. They are separated now by about 1.5 seconds. Holly has started to back her down a little bit. Maybe he's going for the one-stop shop here from Sonoma. It is possible.
Yeah, I mean, the fuel is not much of a concern. You can make it, these guys were telling me they can make it, 32 laps, I think is what they said. But it's just that difference in how the tires are going to cooperate here is what's going to lead these guys to choose a one-stop strategy or a two-stop strategy.
I just noticed, checking back onto the timing and scoring, remembered not too long ago, the driver of that 58 had a huge lead. It was sitting at right around 8 seconds. That has been cut now down to only 6 seconds, so something may have happened to Justin Wilson. As Ira Kohlhaas is playing hide and seek, I believe, just out of our camera angle, just off the racing surface. He is parked up on the hill. He gets her back on the track, but that's a very dangerous spot. He elected to stay there and just let everybody come on by.
That was a bit of a tense moment for Chase Berry as well, because he had a couple of lap cars in front of him, plus that 33 car sitting on that hill.
And I think Young just went for another little bit of a spin, and now looking at him, I think before this spin, he actually already had lost the nose of the 29. Now he goes for a spin, and here comes the 03. Look at Davidson drift around the corner. I thought for a moment he was for sure going to end up into the side of the 29 with how sideways he was and still in the gas trying to dig for more. But he got her under control, and he will now follow the 29 of Young down through the S's, and Young going to go around again.
Just misses him.
I'm sure that was a moment.
A lot of action.
Let's cue up that replay here and go back and watch the in-car camera of the 03 of Aaron Davidson. Onboard cockpit camera here with the driver of the 03. You're watching the 29 of Young right out in front of him as they come through the S's. Hear how off the throttle he is, and then all of a sudden around goes the 29. Davidson didn't even skip a beat, though. He stayed right in it with his right foot.
It was just barely enough room between the gravel and the 29 car, but yeah, great job of staying calm, staying poised. I mean, it didn't really affect him that much. Although if you'd ask him, I'm sure he would prefer not to have any more of those views today.
Well, since we're sitting here, I do notice there is one driver down off the pace here, Taylor. So let's see if we can grab a quick word in with the driver of that 29 car, Jason Young. Jason, you got a copy with us up here?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Well, you can hear us, my friend, but it doesn't sound like you're too thrilled here with the early stages of this race. What had gone on out there as the whole front end of the 29 has tore off?
Simply put, I ran out of talent a few times. Actually, quite a few times. But it's been fun. Turning right's kind of interesting, so you know how it goes.
Yeah, not a real road course racer yourself, but coming here into Sonoma, how many laps did you turn out there getting ready for this track?
7.
Yeah, I guess it's a good number. I mean, I guess.
Could be worse.
I mean, that's almost half of the fuel run. Almost.
Almost, but it's, yeah, not enough. Certainly not enough.
Now, I am noticing the track temps are starting to rise here at Sonoma. Is that playing a factor in the way these cars are handling? Is it getting a little bit slicker out there to control?
It's been pretty slick at the beginning, but yeah, as the track temps, as we've all been out here running quite a while, it has gotten significantly slicker and harder and harder and harder to hit your braking points in the right spots. So it's been an interesting race for sure.
Well, as I see, you actually are already back out on track there with the 29. We'll put you back down here, my friend. I didn't realize you came back out onto the track. We'll get a word in with you a little bit later.
Alrighty, sounds good, bud.
Well, Taylor, doing the little bit of a whoops, didn't see he was back out there. I did notice he gave me the little bit of a poke. And he's going to go around again. Look at him drifting. Can he hang on to it? Yeah, he'll miss the tire barrier the first time, but I don't believe he'll miss it the second time. Into that tire barrier there coming out of turn, what is that, 11?
Turn 10 as Justin Wilson just flashed by. Yeah, but talk about that track temp. It actually has risen to now 96 degrees, and then it's only going to get hotter because this race actually started. Right now, sim time is 9:45 in the morning. So, yeah, I mean, you can tell it's only going to get hotter out there.
So as the temperatures get hotter, the track gets slicker, the tires get more wore out. You're going to see a lot of drivers slipping and sliding, closing in on the halfway point here. Now, as we are working lap number 20 of the 50 scheduled, none of your leaders, actually nobody on your lead lap, nobody on track other than Jason Young has come down pit road, and he is down pit road for, I believe this is actually now the third time of the night. He is 5 laps down currently as Justin Wilson is still working the infield portion. Well, I guess it's all the infield portion.
Wilson is, yeah, he's still driving hard. You see the back end of that 58 kicked out.
He's now back opened up a just about a 9-second lead over Chase Berry. There you see Chase coming through the right-hander here. A little bit sideways, but he is getting all he can in the KB all-around car. Then
I think at this
another 9
point,
seconds back to Davidson.
I think at this point, everybody is kind of committed to just doing it on one stop. Because if they were on 2 stops, they would have hit pit road about 3 or 4 laps ago, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a safe bet here. Is it'll be a one-stop race
got
for a lot
Jordan
of these drivers.
Smith off course. The second time, and he goes around Dan Dill, and he lost that position to actually he might have stayed in the same spot he was running.
Yeah, right now he runs in the 6th spot, and there is a little bit of left front damage on that Toyota Menards 25, and as you do see, right out in front of him is the number 9 of Stephen Holmes. I believe they did end up switching positions.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
As it was the 24 in 4th and the 25 in 5th, and Holmes back in 6th. Now they just flip-flop 5th and 6th, so it'll be Holmes in 5th and Smith in 6th as they work down here through the final corner. Once again, none of your leaders here taking this lap to come down pit road. Eric Holly will be the next one with Jamie Leach with the option of coming down, and neither of those drivers will. They will carry on here on the racetrack. They will look to get around the number 22 of Jared Hagedorn, who is 2 laps down.
Holly with a bit of a tense moment there. so easy to wheel hop getting down to turn 11 as you try to outbrake your fellow competitor. These guys are only on a road course. You could say that they're a minute behind the leader and still on the lead lap.
Well, talk about your leader since he's still out there and I see him driving by pit road here once again. Let's ride on board here a lap around Sonoma with Justin Wilson from the cockpit camera and see what he is seeing here, his throttle points, and maybe a little bit later with newer tires we'll come back to this. We'll be right back here as we watch the in-car camera with Justin Wilson. As that was that was a lap around the Sonoma Raceway here with Justin Wilson, your leader, who is now working up onto the 10th place driver of Cody Levitt. Levitt got the 10th position from Cole Haas when, well, he took that little bit of a spin and off track and had to sit there for a little bit. Levitt's going to move to the outside here of this carousel corner. He will allow your leader to work around him. So now that will put Levitt down a lap, and the next driver on that bubble would be Luke Lafaro.
We gotta give credit to Cody Levitt, though, as tore up as that car is, and took 22 laps for him to finally go a lap down. And kind of handed to him, as Jason Young is, after his rough night, has called it a night. And we're down to just 13 cars running. Now 9 of those on the lead lap.
Well,
And still approaching pit stops.
Yeah, still waiting for green flag pit stops to start, but since Jason Young has called it a night, let's officially, as you see Jared Hagedorn a little bit off track there down on the final corner ahead of your leader. Right now, Hagedorn is 2 laps down, and now pending going down 3 laps here to your leader of Wilson. But let's get another word in with the driver of the 29. Young, it looks like you're going to call it officially a night here from Sonoma.
Yeah, I figured I'd torn up enough race cars and didn't want to run the risk of ruining somebody else's night, so figured we'd call it a day.
Yeah, what was the determining factor other than tearing up any more of that race car? Is it just getting that slick out there on track?
Kind of, sort of. It is pretty slick. The new tire model, which I like a lot, I'm just not familiar with, so I was having a hard time getting the thing to hook up on corner exit. So that made it really difficult to get down the straightaways, and especially with the hills that Sonoma has, it just makes it a really, really complicated scenario when you can't get it to hook up anyway, and then you got to deal with the hills. So I figured I'd just call it a night, get some more practice, and come back next time we're here and have some more fun.
Yeah, the next time.
Speaking of the hills, excuse me,
ahead.
Roger.
Go for
Speaking
it.
of the hills, a couple laps ago, if you noticed that Chase Berry has dropped to 3rd, he climbed out off course in the Can't remember what corner it was, but he got off course and climbed up the big hill and nearly bit the dust and dropped back to third position from second. But
That'll put him
very
way
sketchy
behind
moment.
now.
Yeah, he's still doesn't have any damage, but yeah, very close call. I would expect to see him on pit road momentarily.
Yeah, so Chase Berry will lose the second position. But, Jason, it has been a rough year for you this year, and the calendar year is about to close out here. That will only leave us with 4 more races left to go in the USRA season. And which one are those? Dega, Pocono, Homestead, as Chase Berry's going to be the first one to come down pit road, or even Charlotte, the final race of the season. Out of those 4 races, which one are you most looking forward to after this one?
Well, I always love the super speedway races. They're a lot of fun for me. I don't like to say that I'm good at it, but I certainly think it levels the playing field to where I can actually run with these guys. That and Charlotte. Pocono's tough. Everybody talks about the 3 different corners. They are very challenging to me, but I like Charlotte a lot. I like Talladega a lot, so I'm hoping to be able to make it next week for Talladega, or I guess 2 weeks for Talladega, because Dega's always fun.
Yeah, that race will be on January the 9th. But, Jason, well, until then, my friend, keep turning left, I guess. Try not to make any right-hand turns.
I'll do my best. Appreciate it, guys.
Well, as you saw, the 10 of Chase Berry right there stop and make his pit stop, and he is down on the way. It also drugged the 24 of Jeff Pogo down, Jordan Smith, and Stephen Holmes. So a handful of your top 10 drivers here going to make their pit stops, as it'll be 4 tires for everybody, and then back out onto the racing surface they will go. Where is your leader, though? Well, he's already coming down through the S's, I believe. Now he is coming down pit road, possibly? No,
Nope.
He actually dekes back out there. He'll go one more lap, possibly, and try and drag it out as far as he can. Everybody else, though, halfway pit stop. That kind of shows you the hand that they're playing here tonight.
Kind of interesting. I was trying to determine what Jeff Pogo was going to do. I wonder if he was wondering if he would stay out to try to lead a lap, but apparently he felt his tires were shot that bad that he decided to come in now. And oh, he gets hit from behind though, and he goes around entering turn 5. Got hit by Jordan Smith.
Well, we'll have to go back and watch that on the replay. We didn't see it happen live here, so let's go back and see what happened as they all just came out of pit road together.
And Pogo was working on Luke LaFaro, who still has not made a stop yet, and he got hung up behind him, and Jordan just way too fast and slammed into the back of the 24.
So around Jeff
Although
Pogo goes.
Did a lot more damage, though, to the front end of Smith's car than it did the back of Pogo. And Smith is actually retired here. Oh, we got another spin just past the pit road entrance.
And it looks like that is the 10 there of Chase Berry
Berry.
going around. I don't see any damage, but he is off track, sliding the tires, seeing if he can get back. We'll throw it back and see actually where Berry kind of had his mishap, as he had just made his pit stop. This is him coming through the final corner. Up through turn 1 is where he had his mishap, though.
That looked very similar to what we saw earlier with Jason Young, just right past the start-finish line and into that first left-hander. Of course, Berry had just stopped a couple laps ago on these new tires. It takes it's still an experiment for these guys to get used to these tires getting up to temperature.
Yeah, and there you saw it. Berry going around, coming up the hill towards turn number 2, and he went around and he rejoined the racing surface, but he was only, well, I want to say only a little bit behind Aaron Davidson still, as he was on the newer tires, but now he's going to be way behind, and now his chance of winning here tonight is going to really depend, I think, on Wilson and Davidson having issues and having to park
Davidson
it.
to pit road.
Davidson
Wilson
is
stayed
down
out
pit
there,
road.
though. Carry a lot of speed to the entrance. It's sometimes guys can get lured into thinking, that the pit road line starts way back there, but no, it's actually around the corner.
So now, still looking at the timing and scoring, we're still waiting for your leader Justin Wilson to hit pit road. As you see, Davidson hit his pit stall. Then it'll be Leach, Holly, LaFaro, And then also Dan Dill, who is 1 lap down, has yet to bring the 81 down pit road for service. And Wilson, where will he go this time by? He passes the commitment cone. He will stay out again.
A very interesting call. As here comes Luke LaFaro.
So that'll put LaFaro down a lap. So 6 drivers on the lead lap. And actually Wilson is closing in on the 9 of Stephen Holmes. And Holmes has already been down pit road. So this is really going to show you. Oh, as Holmes blows the corner.
Right front.
Holmes with a big slide, and Wilson actually checked up there to just make sure that Holmes was going to be able to gather it up. So now he'll go around him. So that'll leave only 5 drivers left.
I think at this point, Wilson is kind of... I think the hand he's playing right now is he's just going to run it all the way out on fuel. I mean, at this point in the run, though, he's still turning pretty solid laps. Still running 137.8.
Yeah, and I'm just taking a quick peek here at the timing and the scoring. And I'm seeing now Chase Berry, who pitted 2 laps ago out of the 3rd position, has now taken over the 2nd spot. And Aaron Davidson, I'm not sure if he went around somewhere, but he is now shown way back in the 5th spot. They had similar pit road times. Davidson only 2 seconds slower in his box, but he is buried back there in the 5th spot. He is the last car on the lead lap. Some mishap happening for Davidson, though, when he was down pit road or on his get-up-to-go lap after coming out of pit road.
Oh, I think... trying to look here, because I don't see anything wrong with the pit stop or getting up to speed.
Yeah, right now, though, he needs to get on his horse because he is only actually 9 seconds in front of your leader.
Here's Wilson on pit road, Roger.
Yeah, Justin Wilson does come down, and right ahead of him will be the 81 of Dan Dill. So your leader will pit here on lap 28, going into 29. And so far, he has led all of the laps here at Sonoma as you see him hit the box. And I don't believe he's going to have to worry about Chase Berry coming up and passing him because Berry is sitting at about a minute back behind your leader of Wilson. So it will be 4 fresh tires and fuel for the driver of the 58. There you see the left side tires going on the Cartoon Network car. The jack drops, and he is already down on the way. He'll pass Dan Dill here on pit road. So that'll put Dan Dill down 2 laps, and Dill now runs in the 10th position as it looks like
he'll still have a
Jordan
comfortable
Smith's
lead. As Barry, yeah, he's just now entering turn 11, so yeah, he's still got a huge lead now. Justin Wilson does.
Yeah, waiting for that gap to actually, change on the interval here for us. But right now we're only waiting for 2 more drivers. It'll be the 2 of Jamie Leach and the 8 of Eric Holly, and both those drivers are going to stay out once again as Aaron Davidson closes the gap on them. But we do have 1 more retiree out of the race here tonight, and that'll be the 25 of Jordan Smith. And see if we can dial up Smith. I believe he's still sitting down there in the garage waiting to hear from us. Jordan Smith, you got a copy with us?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jordan, it looks like a little bit of a rough exit here halfway through the event. What happened there as you came out of pit road and got tangled with the 24 here of Jeff Pogo tonight?
Yeah, we were together for most of the night, and when we get close, I would just overdrive it and wreck myself out of it. But that coming out of the pits, we both had really good tires, and I think the 20 of Luke LaFaro was in front of us, and he was on old tires, and I just cooked it into what would be turn 4, I guess, that right-hander, and blocked the tires, wheel hopped, and went into his rear end, and that was the end of my night. Punctured the radiator, and I hate it for him. I feel really sorry. Totally my fault, and I apologize.
Yeah, we just saw something similar just happen on screen as the 8 of Eric Holly went for a slide right there in front of the 03 of Davidson. Holly then locked him up and sat there in the same exact corner that you had your little mishap. But Holly now will fall to the 5th position, and he has yet to make his pit stop. Probably look to see the 8 of Holly down now this time by on the pit road. But yeah, Jordan, it is definitely a challenge here from Sonoma. How was the driving, though, out there for you? How is the car handling as the track temp has now reached 100 degrees?
Well, it's definitely a blast to drive. The grip was not at all there, which is a fun thing to do when you're driving, but it also sucks because you just go put in a corner and hope to God that the downforce will make the car stick. But all in all, it was honestly a lot of fun to drive, a little loose, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, talk about the downforce and a little bit loose. It was a little bit loose there for Eric Holly as he almost went out into the dirt for the second time here. Him and Jamie Leach, though, going to come down on lap 30, so they'll have 20 laps to go, or 20 laps to finish out this one on their set of tires, as Wilson still continues to set the blistering pace, as I believe this is him coming down here. He'll be completing another lap in just a moment. But Jordan, we know you are pretty fast on those 1.5-mile tracks, and well, once the new year hits and we're going to be headed to, well, I want to say 1.5 miles, but really you got a couple weeks before that. But we're headed to Talladega, tongue-tied there a little bit. How do you feel heading from the road course directly into a super speedway in just a couple weeks?
Well, it'll definitely be interesting. It's a whole different animal driving. Here you're so concentrated on yourself, very individualistic, driving against the track and not other people. But when we go to Talladega, it's just going to be all about, well, which line you can get in that has a good run, just being aware of the group, working as a team, as opposed to being so individualistic. So it's definitely a big 180 change from Sonoma to Talladega.
Well, that's just in a couple weeks. Once we hit to the new year into 2020, it'll leave us with 4 races to go. Well, Jordan, tough break for you here, but thanks for stopping by here at the end of this and getting to talk with us for a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Well, there you heard it from Jordan Smith, the driver of the Menards 25. He'll be credited here tonight with a 23rd place, or sorry, with a 13th place finish. 23rd, maybe a little far-fetched there, I'd say.
Well, after all said and done here, Justin Wilson now with a 32-second lead over his teammate Chase Berry. He had a little lap traffic issue that time, 10 car did. Yeah, Wilson just setting an amazing pace. Executed his pit stop to perfection, and here he is. Now with under 20 laps to go. Let's give a shout out to Michael B in chat. Said he's got a shotgun a beer if we give him a shout out. Well, here's your chance to give yourself a shotgun a beer.
Michael Bromley always showing up out there in chat and always willing to do shotguns or beer chugs. I'm just going to say, if it's not live on Facebook, I don't believe it counts. As what did just count, though, is Jared Hagedorn going down another lap as it looks like he is slowing down to allow Luke LaFaro and possibly the 33 of Ira Kohlhaas as he almost comes to a complete stop. Normally on a normal race night, though,
Eric Holly. Big moment again as he just stopped and trying to get those tires at the temperature heading up the hill.
Well, see, the thing about Eric Holly is he likes to shop at Menards, so he usually saves a lot of money, big money saved at Menards, so he has the money to go out there and blow tires on this race car, and well, he's just going to use it. He must have
really hated to see that 25 car go out then.
Well,
given that the 25 is a Menards car.
Well, the 25 also painted by the driver of the 8, Eric Holly. Eric, Jeff, Ed, Michael Bromley, who is out there in chat, not here with us tonight with the USRA Cup Series as he is back home in Ohio. But a lot of the drivers that are out here on track, those 3 those 3 drivers have painted a lot of these drivers' cars here in the USRA. It's a little bit of a sharing field.
Even Holmes has gotten around Jeff Pogo.
Holly's going to go for a spin through the S's.
Oh.
Holly through the grass, goes for a little bit of a ride, a little bit of a airborne there, and he goes it again. He'll try and rejoin the track, and I don't think that's going to help the splitter cause on that 8 car.
No, not at all. And while that was going on, Stephen Holmes got around Jeff Pogo for 4th.
So both those drivers, though, are on that same pitch strategy here, but the driver of the 24 now, remember, with rear end damage as him and Jordan Smith had made contact coming out of pit road, and then Pogo going for a little bit of a spin. Maybe the handling, maybe that is so much damage on the rear end of these Cup cars with this aero package that they have here. Maybe that car just not handling up to snuff now for the gear wrench machine.
Plus, he also got that right front damage when he slid into the tire barriers off turn 10, but that and combined with the rear end damage that he got when he and Jordan Smith got together, that car certainly can't be driving like it was at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, so Jeff Pogo now not having the race that he thought he was going to have. He thought he had at least a top 3 car, possibly being able to sneak second away. He had already determined coming into Sonoma here that he wasn't going to be able to beat Justin Wilson, and right now Wilson still has that 34-second lead. Possibly now not going to have back-to-back good weeks. As
Well, what
he
he is
slides
concerned
once again.
about the most, though, he's concerned about Luke Lafaro in 7th, a lap down. He's still going to beat him in points if he can hang on to this position.
And well, let's check back in with the 38 of Cody Levitt. He is out there driving around with the nose still off on that 38 car. He is out there and he looks pretty slow. I'm not sure if if now he has motor damage on that 38 or what's going on as he's coming through the right-handers here before he heads back down the S's. Taking a quick gander at where he is in points, he is a little bit farther down than what you would normally expect the driver of the 38, as he has missed a little bit of time this year.
I noticed the last few laps he's mainly just been letting faster cars go by him.
Cody Levitt was 18th in points here. He had a really good finish last week at Michigan.
Oh, Jeff Pogo's around again.
Jeff Pogo going to go around, but it looks like he'll be able to gather it up as that's him down there in the S's. As back here focused on Levitt, though, he did lead a lap last week. This week, though, it doesn't look like he's going to lead a lap as he comes through the start-finish line here.
Pogo's car, he has no hood as he got into the tire barriers again.
Oh, I think something now actually went wrong with the 38's car. Oh, my.
Wow.
Possibly sim rig malfunction.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I think that we're going to have to watch the replay.
My gosh. Dan Dill has to be wondering what in God's name just happened.
As we rewatch what happened to Cody Levitt here as he just started his 16 to go here lap 35.
I still can't get over that.
As he had no hood, he went for the jump, and wow. We're going to have to watch it back from Dan Dill's in-car. What did Dan Dill actually see coming up over that? Let's just go on board with Dan Dill. Can you actually see? Dan Dill's really slow out there on track, too, and all you see is Levitt's tires go flying over the windshield on Dan Dill.
Well, basically, I mean, Dan Dill's going to need his Christmas stocking to be full of new underwear, pretty much.
So now Cody's on pit road, obviously. Race fans, if you were a Levitt fan, I think he might be done here tonight, and I think Dan Dill, if anybody wants to send him some new shorts. I'm still laughing and still speechless here.
It's too bad that I'm not sure if Dan Dill is a streamer or not, but that would definitely go on Rents the Fence highlight videos for this week.
So now with Levitt, I believe, going to be retired from the event after making hard contact, I guess you can say, or thinking he was Superman. He will now drop to most likely the 12th position. Maybe he was trying to fly back to Las Vegas.
I just don't know. I'm not trying to figure out what that thought process was.
Sorry. Back to the lead, though. Justin Wilson still dominating here. He has led every lap, 35 laps in the books, 15 here to go. He has a 37-second lead over his teammate of Chase Berry. As you see, Berry's coming through the final corner there right behind Eric Holly. Holly is right now shown one lap down in the 8th position. So your top two drivers haven't changed any here really since the drop of the green. Berry did spend a little bit of time in third, but now has worked his way back to the 2nd spot.
Well, now that I think Cody Levitt is definitely done for the night, I think we should grab him for an interview real quick.
Well, maybe we're gonna be able. Maybe we can dial up the driver of the 38 just yet before he skedaddles back to Las Vegas. Let's see if we can get Cody Levitt on the radio here. Cody Levitt, you got a copy?
I got you, man.
Well, we can barely hear you, Cody. We know you're still dealing with still being a little bit sick from spending some time in the hospital. But tell us what the heck just happened down there in turn number 1.
Dude, the throttle stuck. It was freaking crazy. Ran out of brakes. I don't have brakes anymore. Yeah, almost killed Dan. I would have felt bad.
Yeah, it looked like Dan may have saw you as he is in VR out there. Maybe he saw. You could definitely hear. We did go on board with Dan Dill, but possibly what happened there? Do you think the brakes or the throttle hung from that damage early on in the race from lap number 1?
Yeah, that's gotta be it, dude. I've been struggling the entire race. Unfortunate that I got into the wall that first lap. I'm just mad at myself, and now mad at my my throttle. You know, it almost killed me.
Well, I do know that's a
It
newer.
almost killed Dan Dill too.
I'm sure Dan is probably out there driving around a little bit scared now after you played Superman on him. But that is also a newer pedal and wheel set than what you were used to last time, I believe, that you drove here at Sonoma. Did that have any effect here tonight?
Maybe some dust or something. I don't know. It's pretty dusty here. A lot of dog hair. My dogs are always, shedding. Maybe something got in. I don't know.
So Taylor, I've never seen anything like that before.
Me neither.
Well, so Cody, I'm gonna guess a little too much damage now on the 38 machine to come back out.
I've got about 8 minutes required. Not horrible, but I don't think I'm gonna come back out.
Well, right now you are shown 4 laps down. Jared Hagedorn is 1 lap behind you. He will take over that position. So with a 12th place finish pending here to finish out the year, how about Talladega? We know you're a good super speedway driver. You're looking forward to that one?
Oh, much more than I was looking forward to this one. So it'll be. I mean, it feels like it's a little more. I guess, obviously even. You got people out here running 3 seconds faster than you. It's not much fun.
Well, it's a little bit hard out there on a lot of the drivers here tonight, and Levitt experiencing a little bit of, we're going to call them sim rig issues here, Taylor, and
Yeah.
he will now be retired for the evening.
That makes a little more sense, and kind of he wasn't just doing it just to be, just messing around and saying, all right, my race is over. Like, it was actually, in his words, a legit mechanical problem.
But you do know who's not having any mechanical problems. That will be the 58 of Justin Wilson. As actually, you had just mentioned it right when Cody Levitt went off track. Jeff Pogo having issues, and now Pogo, who runs in the 5th spot, is about to go a lap down because he has, a crushed-in rear tail panel of this 24-gear wrench car, and
there's no hood.
Hood is it's gone. I mean, what do you need a hood for, though?
Yeah, I mean, Levitt had no front end until that stunt, so. But either way, Pogo is on the verge of getting lapped here in another couple laps. I mean, Wilson just, like you said earlier, blistering pace. Still at a 137.49 last time by, compared to the rest of the field. I mean, the only ones that are matching him were third and 2nd place. Of course, they're still too far back. So
yeah, right now.
Basically, Justin Wilson can just coach this thing for another 12 laps.
Think he can make 12 laps?
I mean, he has put on quite a show tonight.
Well, as Jeff Pogo is staying on the lead lap for the time being, the question isn't, will he be able to? It's how long will he be able to hold 58 of Wilson behind him, because Pogo doesn't want to lose the lap to the driver of that 58, and he doesn't actually, technically have to pull over to let the leader back, even though there won't be any lucky dogs.
There he
Well,
goes.
he does at least go a little bit wide there in the corner, and he will now let Justin Wilson pass. So now that will leave 4 drivers on the lead lap, as Dan Dill's going to go another lap down here. That'll be, I believe, 3 laps down now for Dan Dill. But now with Jeff Pogo going a lap down, the next one to fall victim possibly to the driver of that 58 will be the number 9 of Stephen Holmes.
Give credit to Stephen Holmes. I mean, obviously he hasn't had the pace as compared to the top 3, but I don't recall him going off track once.
I think he did have a little bit of a slide, but I'm not sure if he actually went off track at this point. So much has happened here at Sonoma that we've been following.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little hard to remember back even, 2 laps ago, other than Cody Levitt going airborne.
But either way, he's done a solid job of keeping that car clean and up here in 4th place.
Yeah, remember, we did talk about Holmes, though, a little bit earlier in the show, that he will be one of the drivers to be around at the end of this, maybe not in first. And right now he is showing exactly what we talked about with this Grizzly machine. He is 4th, and, well, he's not really within striking distance, about 27 seconds back off Aaron Davidson, who runs in the 3rd spot. And behind him would be Jeff Pogo, who sits 17 seconds back, who is a lap down. And Davidson, though, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look like Davidson is chewing into Chase Berry's lead either. That's sitting at an 18-second deficit between 2nd and 3rd.
So basically, barring any real screw-ups, the guys are probably gonna finish where they're running right now. But anything can happen.
Somebody could have sim issues like Levitt and end up going up the hill here in turn 1. You just never know. So right now there are 4 drivers out of the event, 3 technically, as Levitt is still sitting back there in the garage with his 38 machine. So it will be Craig Learman not taking the start here at Sonoma. He'll be credited with a 15th place finish. Jason Young is 14th out of the event, 23 laps down. His teammate of Jordan Smith is going to be credited with 13th. He will be shown 15 laps down. That is right now at 11 laps to that total, and that's where they will end for tonight. Right now, Cody Levitt still in the garage, but the last one out there on track will be the driver of the 22 of Jared Hagedorn out of Nebraska, and he's just out there. He is 6 laps down, but he absolutely hates road courses, but he is still out here, and he's still trucking around this 2.5-mile track.
Now he's about to pass Cody Levitt for that 11th position, and who knows if someone else has a major problem and can't finish the race, he might end up getting a top 10 out of this.
Well, he might get a top 10 just yet out of the event here. He did come into the night 8th in points, and he's one of those guys that are just trying to point his way to the finish. Some of his stats this year, pretty good. He has a handful of top 10 finishes, 5 top 10 finishes, 1 top 5. That top 5 came a couple weeks ago at the Atlanta Oval. Started 12th in that event, drove all the way up, led 3 laps, and then finished in the 2nd spot by just about a car length gap between him and Aaron Davidson, who won his first race back at Atlanta with the USRA guys. Back at Daytona, Jared did also finish 6th, so possibly going into the new year, he is looking at Talladega to kind of spread his wings after this one.
Someone else who's going to be looking forward to Talladega, I'm sure, is Luke LaFaro, because of course kicked off this season by winning at Daytona. Hagedorn goes way wide to get out of the way of the faster car of Luke LaFaro. And Luke's got a lot of distance to make up if he's going to pass Jamie Leach for that 6th place.
Yeah, right now LaFaro is actually, if I'm reading it right, is about 20 seconds behind Jamie Leach. So right now LaFaro possibly not going to be able to pick up any positions unless Leach has a real bad off track. And, well, I don't think he'll lose the position here to Eric Holly, who runs the back here in the 8th spot, because Holly is actually sitting 47 seconds behind Luke LaFaro, so he is well down the timing and scoring. Dan Dill, though, I'm pretty impressed with, Dan Dill, as he's sideways coming up over the hill there. He's not been the quickest out there on track, not even close, actually, but Dan, being 3 laps down, still out there driving and still inside the top 10.
And had the front row seat for the biggest spectacle of the night, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, still out there making laps, still within that battle for third place in points.
Yeah, he
Every
won
lap and every point counts.
He won last week, and it was actually his first win ever with the USRA between the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and now the first year of the trucks and the Xfinity and first win in Cup.
They actually won at Kansas too.
Oh, that's right. We always forget about that one.
The one where he beat Stephen Holmes by a hair, practically 4,000 of a second.
That's right.
Either way, he's had a solid season.
Yeah, it's definitely the best season Dan Dill has had with the USRA.
He's going to go around, though.
He must know we're talking about him with the camera on him.
Well, the only position he can lose is to Ira Kohlhaas, and he's well in front of him.
Yeah, I believe about a half a lap, actually, between Dan Dill and Ira Kohlhaas. Kohlhaas, one of those drivers that is a rookie this year here with the USRA, brand new off the street, hasn't run with this group of guys. Right now, 10th on the timing and scoring, and well, he is actually 9th in the point standings, right behind Jared Hagedorn, as he's actually working around the 22 of Hagedorn right now. Big Ira Kohlhaas, a big Kentucky fan, and well, we're just not going to talk about the Kentucky basketball team because, well, yeah. What can you really say?
It just went sour.
Yeah. But Kohlhaas here does have one top 5 this year and 5 top 10s. He has an average finish position, though, right outside the top 10 in the 13th spot is Aaron Davidson. His teammate is working up on him, and Davidson going to be able to make quick work of Kohlhaas as he goes around him.
Well, good news with Luke LaFaro. I mean, I was talking earlier about the bonus point of most positions moved up. Right now, he and Jamie Leach and Jared Hagedorn, they all have moved up 3 positions, which is the most.
But the 22 of Jared Hagedorn did not take a qualifying attempt here, I believe.
No, he did not. Yeah, that's right. So,
well, unfortunately, that will take Jared Hagedorn out of the running for that, and then we will have to see how it is scored between the other drivers after everything is tallied up here, as Luke LaFaro has a little bit of an off-track coming there through the corner. Puts up a little dust on the track, and then, well, knocks over the cone at pit road, and just keeps on keeping on with the number 20 Home Depot Toyota. Where is Justin Wilson? We haven't seen him in a while in his Cartoon Network machine. Well, he's still 40 seconds out in front of Chase Berry, and, well, he has 7 more laps to go.
Yeah, John Mullins in the chat definitely has put it best right now. This is definitely, in his words, been a woodshed beatdown by Justin Wilson over the rest of this field.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong whatsoever.
I mean, this is one of those tracks that is an absolute driver skill track, and there's no draft that's going to come into play. It's all about the laps you can you have turned here, or finding your exact braking points. And Wilson at this point has just done it better than anybody else. And every lap he's turning, he's only lost not even 4 seconds off his best lap time last time by. Let's take just a quick gander. What is it going to be this time at the line for Justin Wilson? And that time, yeah, 3.5 seconds slower than his best lap out there, and he's already 16 laps onto this tire run. Don't expect to see him back down pit road anytime soon because, well, last time he was down pit road to put 4 tires and fuel on it, it cost him 42 seconds on pit road. He doesn't have that as a lead here over
right
Chase
in front
Berry.
of him, though, Stephen Holmes goes around.
Now, we talked about Holmes here
safely
just a moment ago about having such a clean race. Let's walk this back here and watch what happened to Stephen Holmes coming up through. It looks like possibly just getting back onto the throttle and into the braking zone here. Well, maybe not. What happened?
Yeah,
up over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Up over the hill, the car just snapped on him.
Luckily, Wilson was just far enough that it didn't really affect him at all, and Holmes is still going to maintain that 4th position as Wilson Makes his way into the S's, and he'll get 5 to go this time around.
He'll get 5 to go this time by, and now he has lapped everybody up to the top 3. So Aaron Davidson out there, and I'm looking at it, and I don't believe Wilson will have enough time unless he's got a turbo slapped underneath the hood. And, well, at this point, I'm willing to believe anything if you would tell me. But Wilson has a rough 40 seconds to catch up to Aaron Davidson.
Back here to Jamie Leach isn't too terribly far behind Jeff Pogo. If Pogo were to have another issue, Leach could capitalize on it.
Leach goes sideways, though, out of the final corner, and that's a huge key right there. That's a battle for the 5th and 6th position, because if Jamie Leach catches Jeff Pogo, Pogo would lose the bonus point for finishing inside the top 5. Leader or winner at the end of the race will get 5 bonus points for finishing first. Second will get 4, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. So that's actually a bonus point position there. If Jamie Leach could go up there and grab it from Jeff Pogo, that would be 1 less point that Jeff Pogo has to his points lead here over Luke LaFaro. And even Jamie Leach, who came into the night running in the 4th spot, you know, Jamie has a win on the season, but he could use 1 extra bonus point. At the end of the year, it's all going to get tallied up, and it could be the deciding factor of who becomes your champion here.
And he could use that bonus point himself to pull, because he came in here 7 points behind Eric Holly. Third, it was third in points, and Holly stuck back there in 8th.
Yeah, we know nobody's going to get the a bonus point for having a clean race here, so negate that, and, well, with where Eric Holly is running, if he gets around Luke LaFaro, that would actually jump him in point standings ahead of Eric Holly, so that would mean Jamie takes over the 3rd spot. So that 1 spot has a lot of factors on the line.
Wilson now with 4 laps to go. Time ran a 1:38.646. He's got a couple of lap cars ahead of him, including Eric Holly.
Yeah, it looks like that is the 22 of Hagedorn, and Hagedorn will go wide there and out of that corner, and that'll put Hagedorn now down 7 laps.
And even if someone has an issue on this last 4 laps here, I think Hagedorn's going to end up 11th no matter what.
Yeah, with 4 laps to go, Ira Kohlhaas would have to park it at this point, but Kohlhaas is coming down through the S's, headed towards the last turn here on the track, and if he completes this lap, Ira Kohlhaas then, because of the way iRacing timing and scoring scores it, if you start the lap, iRacing will actually bring you back all the way around the track, and you'll be credited with that lap, so Kohlhaas will go across the line here. So now Jared Hagedorn is officially locked into the 11th position, and Ira Kohlhaas is officially locked into the 10th spot. Dan Dill and Kohlhaas, though, are on the same lap, so if something would happen to Dan Dill, then Kohlhaas could possibly pick up the 9th spot.
Oh, Eric Holly again, another big wiggle off turn 11. Justin Wilson saw that. Becomes 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Holly's back exactly where he started tonight in the 8th spot. He was up at one point inside the top or into the 5th spot, and then slid all the way back here to 8th after everything kind of cycled back through. He's gone for a couple off tracks here tonight. Right now, Justin Wilson, though, working up on him. That would put then Eric Holly 2 laps down to Justin Wilson as Wilson hangs it out just a little bit there on the rumble strip. Chase Berry is still sitting at 40 seconds behind your leader of Wilson. It's Wilson, Berry, and Davidson.
Yep, just those 3 on the lead lap. That's the way it's probably going to turn out to be. Well, Davidson had a chance early on to be the real challenger to Justin Wilson, but Wilson stepped up and said, heck with that theory. I'm the man here tonight.
And the question is, where did Chase Berry come from here tonight? There you see him with 3 laps to go. Where did Chase Berry come from? Everybody is probably wondering out there. And, you know, Chase Berry, we did call him the super speedway driver more or less here tonight, except Chase Berry does do a little bit of secret road course racing himself. So he's not, you know, a stranger, you know, calling him a freshman or anything here to the turning right and hitting the brake pedal, even though sometimes we wonder out there on track if he has a brake pedal week to week. But, you know, he does enjoy turning right here.
Yeah, I mean, he got himself a solid 4th place finish when this series visited Watkins Glen in October.
Yeah, all his positions at Watkins Glen were even gained towards the end of the event. You know, he had a little bit of an up and down day there, but ended up with a solid top 5, and there is now 2 laps to go as the popsicle sticks were in the air last time by for Justin Wilson. So at this point, he is just out there on cruise control. And, well, if cruise control is, you know, anything for him, it's opening up a little bit larger gap, another 3 seconds added to that 40 seconds, to now make it 43 seconds from Wilson back to Berry.
I love how he is on cruise control and still the fastest car on the track by far.
Yeah, he was last time by the only one into the 1 minute 38 bracket. Chase Berry was 1 minute and 40. Aaron Davidson was 1 minute and 30, and everybody behind him was into the just about 1 minute and 41 second markers. Coming down through
this
the
one
S's.
not quite as eventful as it was at Watkins Glen, at least not up in the front, but it's been a lot going on as Wilson comes off turn 10 and will approach the white flag.
So it'll just be about 2.47 miles here for Justin Wilson as he works off the final corner here, as he'll officially see the white flag in the air here in the Lucas Smith 250 tonight, presented by Jeff Pogo. Can the 58 of Wilson, though, come back around here as we got the 1 to go marker there? Can he be the winner here at Sonoma?
I mean, he would have led every single lap. He just makes it back around here one more time.
Watkins Glen went to his buddy of Aaron Daffler, and he ended up coming home after a little bit of an incident in that final corner where they all made contact and wadded him up. Now
He came
looking
up
for
third.
a little revenge.
And still turning laps of 1 minute and 38 seconds. I mean, he is. I mean, he has this thing locked up, but he is not just putzing around. He is still making a lot of hay. As here he comes through the S's through the final time.
Yeah, it's been a night of pretty much just on cruise control for the driver of the 58. There isn't much that you can say he didn't do here tonight, because he absolutely obliterated the field as he works off the second final corner here tonight of this 12-turn track here at Sonoma. 49 laps led. He's looking to lead the last one as he makes the final right-hand turn. He will put himself in victory lane once again here with the USRA Cup Series. Justin Wilson officially going to be your winner here tonight.
A big battle here behind him, although it's a lap, guys that are a lap down. Stephen Holmes is going to hold off Jeff Pogo for that 4th and 5th position.
As Pogo gave it everything he had going down into the final corner, you can see him still trying to gather the car up there. He'll come home with a 5th place finish as he did walk away from Jamie Leach. Right now, still waiting on your 2nd place finisher to come through the line. There it is. Chase Berry will enter the final corner here tonight.
He has 2 team cars finishing 1st and 2nd.
So drivers out of that Payday Racing stable dominating, showing what they have for the Pure Ink cars, and they finished 1 and 2. Aaron Davidson will be the next scheduled driver to come down through, as you see him now approaching the final corner, going around it, and it's going to be an all-clear sailing back to the start-finish line here for Aaron Davidson. It'll be a solid 3rd place finish to back up his win from last week. And there it is. Aaron Davidson officially crossing the line. So it is Wilson winning tonight with Chase Berry in second. Aaron Davidson comes home third. Stephen Holmes finishes in the fourth position. Jeff Pogo fifth. Jamie Leach in sixth. And Luke LaFaro in seventh. Eric Hawley finishes eighth, right where he started. Dan Dill coming home in ninth. Ira Kohlhaas rounds out the top 10. Hagedorn is the last one running on track. He finishes in the 11th spot, 7 laps down. Then it's Flying Cody Levitt in 12th. Jordan Smith in 13th, Jason Young 14th, and Craig Learman in the 15th spot with a did not start the race here tonight. But as Wilson still cools down here on his cool down lap, we're going to step away and we will be right back here with the post-race interviews live from the Sonoma Raceway here at your Lucas Smith 250 tonight, presented by Jeff Pogo. And welcome back, race fans, here to the Lucas Smith 250 presented by Jeff Pogo here for your post-race shows. We have caught up with your winner who has pretty much, well, I'm going to say dominated, 50 for 50 on the lap counter here, Wilson. How did you do it behind that Scooby-Doo machine tonight?
Just taking it easy. It's all about consistency. Taking the corners slow. There's no need, not over driving because that results in spinning tires, locking them up, all that good stuff. So it's just a matter of being consistent and pacing myself.
Well, how are you able to sit behind the wheel here tonight and pace yourself at Sonoma with the track temps climbing here at the end of this race to 108 degrees?
Very carefully. It's really about just not going full throttle. That was the key. I don't think any point of the track I was full throttle, because if I did, I was looping it.
Yeah, it seemed like a really tough track for a couple drivers having major issues here tonight. This isn't your first time to a road course, though, if you remember back to Watkins Glen leading the 57 laps there, unfortunately not winning, coming home third to Aaron Daffler. But is road courses one of those race tracks that you really look forward to heading to?
Not at all. I actually don't. I don't know. They're kind of fun for, like, you do one here and there, but it's not my cup of tea.
Well, not your cup of tea. Certainly, though, being able to show the boys out there tonight how to do it. We know you're not in the points championship hunt, as this was only your 7th start of the year here with the USRA Cup Series. You are more of a regular, though, on Tuesday night with them. But now this will be the final race. We've talked to a couple other of your competitors here tonight throughout the event, as this is the last race of the year. But we head over to Talladega in just a couple weeks. How do you feel your chances are of going back-to-back, though, from a road course to a super speedway?
Oh, Talladega's a wild card. We all know this. It's anybody's race. It's all about that last lap and staying out of trouble. But coming off a win here, it'll be, we'll go into Talladega with good. We'll test our luck there.
Roll the dice in just a couple of weeks to start the new year, but you're going to go out with a blast here in 2019. You will be the final winner of the 2019 calendar year here. How do you feel here tonight?
It feels pretty good. The practice paid off. We did a lot of practice this week trying to get this track down because it's such a tough track. Me, Chase, a couple other friends of mine, we really hammered this track down trying to get it. We put a couple practices up throughout the week and had some people in. So all that hard work pays off. It feels really good.
Well, congratulations on your win. But before we step away, we're going to roll the red carpet out for you here, sir. Who do you got to thank for parking Scooby-Doo here in Victory Lane?
No, got to thank my teammates, obviously. I got Chase and Jason at home watching. He wasn't able to go on. I don't know where on earth Jim is, but thank him too. And you guys for putting the show on, and USRA, man, for such a great league.
Well, there you heard it from your winner here tonight in the Lucas Smith 250, presented by Jeff Pogo. Jeff Pogo doesn't win tonight, but Justin Wilson does. Led 50 laps, wire to wire, the first driver here this year to be able to take claim to that one. And yeah, it may have been here on a road course, but it was definitely a hard-earned win for him. Taylor, I believe you have caught up with the driver out of the same stable who comes home in the second spot here tonight.
Indeed, I have. Chase Berry started second, finished second. Although that didn't go without a couple of hair-raising moments. A couple close calls out there, including one where he basically climbed up the hill. Can't remember what corner it was, but tell us about your night in general.
Yeah, it was fun. I was ecstatic with my second place start, and I was like, oh my god, I qualified second. I actually can see Justin. It's been a while since I've been able to, right behind Justin for a long time. But going to that hill, I was shifting in a third, and then when I knocked it out of gear going in to second, and then it wheel hopped up, so I had to knock it out of gear, and I just coasted up. That's all it was. I knocked it out of gear, and I didn't want to wreck, so I just kind of, hope for the best on that one.
What did you say?
Well, it was a very... I'm not sure how much you realize how close you came to completely wiping out there, but a great recovery nonetheless. Was able to overhaul Aaron Davidson after his pit stop, and I'm in the second position, although 40 seconds behind Justin Wilson. But this certainly, I would have to imagine, would make up for what happened at the end of the race at Michigan, where you led more laps than anybody, but then got taken out late.
I got Justin in my ear laughing at me. But yeah, that one hurt. That one stung. I didn't have enough gas. My crew chief didn't. We was talking and we just messed around, and I didn't put enough gas in it. That was all my fault on the Michigan thing. I was hoping we wouldn't bring it up, but I was just trying to, get out here, run better, and make up for it. I mean, it sucks that Aaron messed up on pit road, but I'm kind of glad he did because we got that. Me and Justin won too, but he did good too.
I would say redemption. For you, definitely well worth taking as we close out the calendar year here and go to Talladega 3 weeks from now. You started the year at Daytona, the other restricted plate track, with the top 5. Going to get it done in 3 weeks from now at Dega as well?
I have no idea. It all depends on how the race goes. If You know, if I'm stuck in the back, I'm just gonna chill. But if I'm up front, I'm just gonna go have fun. I mean, it's one of them ones. Is you know, you got better be lucky than good. There, I mean, I do run super speed a lot, but it's all about luck. You know what I mean? Just lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, believe me, there's not another person in the world that has a different mindset that you have. It's just luck that you have a good finish on a restrictor plate track. But hope you hope you and your family have a great holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks at Dega.
All right, thank you guys. I hope you know. Thanks for broadcasting and all that good stuff, putting everything on. You know, hope you enjoy. Have a good Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff. I'm gonna go pop champagne with Justin. Woo!
That sounds like a good plan. And believe Roger is caught up with our third place finisher, Aaron Davidson.
Yeah, I have caught up with the driver out of the Red Bull stables here, the driver that has probably turned more laps, like I said, than I have turned in my entire iRacing career. But Aaron, those laps tonight are paying off with a third place finish.
Yeah, thankfully. It was definitely a lot of mistakes there. I, pressuring Chase into the S's and then on pit road. So definitely a deserved third place. I think I should have gotten second, but congrats to Chase Berry on that one. He deserved that one.
Yeah, what more could you have done out there to possibly gain any more positions or even run down Justin Wilson, as you actually came home a whole minute behind the driver of that 58?
Well, there's no chase Justin. I knew since practice that he's going to have our number here. Chase, it was just all about not making mistakes. When I was pressuring them there within, I think, the first 15 laps, I could tell that I was just a little bit faster than him. But I was, for the most part, the pit stop went great, but then trying to get out ahead of him, I went 2 miles an hour over the speed limit exiting. So screwed my day there, but thankfully brought it home third.
Yeah, third place finish you really can't be disappointed at, as you won last week, and now a solid top 3 finish here. Has to feel pretty good here to end out the year.
Yeah, it's not too bad here. I mean, actually, I didn't win out last week. I actually wrecked out. So
yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, huh?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, that one. But yeah, I mean, it's still good redemption. You know, I had this track circled, this along with Block Sun as a shot for some good points. So, yeah, you can't be too disappointed with the third place. Just wish I didn't have too many mistakes there, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, but all in all, it's got to be a good points night, and, well, it's the last one of the season, and, well, this is the last time for this year you have to hear me, so this will be the last time I say, well, a third-place finish for you here. Who do you got to thank for that one?
I'd just like to thank my team, all the guys that I practiced with, Pogo, setting up all the practices over the weekend. Those actually really helped me because I was practicing on different track conditions. And then you guys, USRA, for putting on a great show. I love watching your broadcast, so I'd like to thank y'all.
Well, there you heard it from Aaron Davidson, who comes home here tonight in the third position. A little bit, not as good of a finish as he wanted, but a third-place finish, I know for myself, Taylor, would have been considered as a win, and I probably could have ended my career on it.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, Justin Wilson going to win tonight. You see him on screen right there on his slowdown lap. If you want to call it a slowdown lap, it was still faster than I think what I could have turned. And Chase Berry comes home second. Aaron Davidson is third here tonight. Steve Holmes is fourth. Jeff Pogo came home, rounding out your top 5 drivers. That's going to just about do it for us here from the Turn 3 Racing Network. We do have one little video. I normally would not do this, but since he asked me to do it, this is how we will leave you here from Sonoma with the Lucas Smith 250. We said video or it didn't happen. Well, race fans, here it is to finish it out here tonight.